Welcome, everybody, to the Notorious OTB, brought to you by the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. And, folks, as always...
It's all good, baby. It was all a dream.
We used to read Blood Horse Magazine. I got my Cuban links.
Yes, Cuban B.
And I'm your host, Chase Sessoms, the Wolf of Oaklawn.
I'd rather be trapped than lazy. Don't care what they say, I'ma do what pays me.
It happens every year about this time. Weaklings act like they lost their mind. Alphas reclaim the neighborhood. Rob the sheep and all the wolves get good.
Yes. Welcome to the show. This is typically where I say, joining me as always, the man, the myth, the legend, Barry, the Sniper Spears, the Michelangelo of the crime, Michael Jordan, but he's actually headed to the Breeders' Cup. So I don't have my typical security blanket. But what I do have, a man I just learned is actually a football commentator.
And what the fuck are you doing on TV anyhow? You know, I get calls from back home every fucking day. They think you went batshit.
Joining me all the way from Newcastle, better than the old castle, ladies and gentlemen, Malcolm Bamford. What's up, Malcolm?
Every time I talk to you for the first 90 seconds of the show, I have got no idea what's going on. It's like some sort of fever dream. But then I remember. And yeah, I am very well. It's a nice early start for me, a little afternoon. I never get to talk to you people in the afternoon. It's always the dead of night whenever you people contact me. But it's bright. I'm in the actual daylight this afternoon. I've got the horse racing on. You might be able to just see the jumpers from Ffoslas, which is somewhere in Wales, this afternoon. There you can see the jumpers coming over the last. There they go over the hurdles. And looking forward to talking to you for a little while and maybe find a winner or two for this Breeders' Cup. A little bit slim pickings for the Euros this time around. Not that much to get our teeth into. Yeah,
it's slim pickings, but I still feel like they're probably the best, especially with them not having any dirt horses at all being on the turf. Like I expect the Euros to do what they typically do, which is kick the ever-loving shit out of the horses that we enter. But Mal mentioned it. It's BC week. We've got you covered from the rooter to the tutor. Today, we're going to try to demystify some of these horses shipping in from Europe with Malcolm's European horses to bet this Breeders' Cup weekend. Knowing these European horses, I say this all the time whenever it's time to take a deep dive into the Breeders' Cup, which is they can be the difference between a life-changing score or just sitting around holding your Charles Dickens. So Mal's got some horses for us to take a look at. We're going to go ahead and we're going to start it off with Friday because you had two horses that ended up getting into the 5 furlong, $1 million juvenile turf sprint. I love turf sprints. It's just chaos most of the time. Who are you liking in the Juvie turf sprint?
So the first one I liked here was Aspect Island, which is a price. It's a really nice price. It's a 20-1 shot, trained by James Owen, and Frankie Dettori is going to take the ride. I think James Owen's got two coming over, and Frankie is booked for both of them. James Owen, you might not know too much about him. He's a trainer in good form. High hopes for the couple that he's bringing over. And as straightforward as this sounds, Aspect Island is quick. That's a really simple handicap. I need you to tell me just how quick Delmar is going to be at the weekend. But Aspect Island won a handicap at Yarmouth 2 starts ago, which isn't particularly flashy form, but did it very, very well, as you'd have to. And then last time out was third in a Group 3, the Cornwallis Stakes. Only beaten 3/4 of a length in that race. Is well drawn in 4. And like I say, the early pace angle, which is something you're going to tell me about, I think if we can get this horse a handy position, it is quick. It's going to be busy in behind. It should be quite rough. I mean, how many? What's the field here? 14, maybe? I think it's 17. I don't know what the
yeah, 17
is that the safety limit, 14.
Yeah, I think that's where they 12 is the guaranteed, and you've got I guess 5 also eligibles with 13 through 17. So it's going to be a full field no matter what.
Yeah, so it's going to be busy. there's a lot of top European talent in this. You'll recognise a lot of the trainers. You'll recognise a lot of the owners, the colours. You've got your Go Dolphin boys, who you always like. Charlie Appleby and William Buick send military code across. There's one further down the other one that I liked. I like True Love. I did actually like True Love for a different race, however. So the fact that it's changed targets is just throwing a slight fly in the ointment here. That one's drawn out in 9. But my selection, Aspect Island, has got a good position in 4th. Unexposed. I use that word a lot when we talk, whether it's you and Barry and Sean and Ryan. We like unexposed type. And like I say, quick. And that might just be the place to be. So if Aspect Island can get out and running, 20-1 is a really fair each-way price, I think, Chase.
Yeah, so I have 2 questions. One is, what do you think of this angle I have, which is Frankie Dettori has to pay some back taxes. And then the other is, how much stock do you put into horses that are running in straights or right-handed turns, making the change to these left-handed American courses?
Yeah, both good questions. I can't work Frankie out. I can never decide if I really like him or he's a bit of a tit. Like, I've had this with him for 30 years as well. It's been an ongoing power struggle between the two. So I'm not really sure about Frankie. Frankie is really good on the front end. Frankie ticking off those sectionals in his head, furlong pole by furlong pole. There's not much better sights than Frankie setting the fractions on the front. I really enjoy him. The straights to the left-handed, actually, there was one horse who I wanted to fade a little bit further down the card. The horse was called Precise, which is even money to win. Which race is it?
I think it's the mile.
Juvenile Filly Turf. Is that right?
Sure. Yeah, that's right. They're running all those at a mile this year, so I called it the mile, but it is the turf. You're correct.
But and that was because of that angle. So if you watch when you watch tape or you watch video of the recent form of these horses, it's really tempting just to sort of click forward to the last 2 furlongs because it's a time save. You don't need to watch them go around in the same sequence for 6 furlongs. But if you watch Precise, for example, the last one was at Newmarket. Newmarket is about the course they ran that last race on. It's about 100 yards wide, and it was a straight race. The horse could do anything it wanted, but it broke slowly, but it did have all the time in the world to come across from the far side to the near side to find something to drag it into the race. Those kind of things can't happen on a quick 5 furlong left-handed thing. So you do need a handy horse. This horse, Aspect Island, is versatile. It's, like I say, ran at Newmarket, which is a speed track. They, not so much with the turns, but they get off balance coming into the dip at Newmarket. They come past the bushes 2 furlongs out, and there's a dip, and it catches horses out. It very often catches young horses out. Aspect Island dealt with that really well. And that's the kind of thing we're talking about, something that will throw you off balance, like a quick left-handed turn. So I don't think Aspect Island will have issues with that. I did factor it in, like I say, with a couple of bits later on, notably that fade of Precise. I thought that was definitely going to be an issue.
Nice. Well, we move on to Saturday. Let me get some past performances for Saturday pick pulled up real quick. There we go. Now you have a play coming for us out of the 12 furlong, $5 million Breeders' Cup Turf. Now, this is a race that the Europeans have just absolutely dominated, but maybe not always with the most notable horse. I remember, what was it, that horse named Australia a couple years ago at about 60-1 coming in. You guys own this race. So who are you thinking for the Breeders' Cup Turf?
Well, the one that stands out, the one at the top of the market, and I mainly like this because of the price. The horse is called Mini Hawk. It is the Aidan O'Brien runner. And Aidan O'Brien is only sending 8 this year. Normally, he sends an absolute aeroplane full to tackle all kinds of races. He's only sending 8 challenges. 7 of them are juveniles. And this is the only older horse that's going. So in itself, that's kind of a little nod. And it's 10-11 with the majority of the books that I've been looking at in this country. So it's a shade of odds on. You sent me the lines earlier on. You can get 8 to 5 in America, and that is a big old difference, and that makes it more appealing to me. The horse is a triple Group 1 winner over the summer. He won the Oaks, won the Irish Oaks, won the Yorkshire Oaks, and then came second in the Arc in Paris recently. And you can't knock that form. That form is absolutely bulletproof. Fillies can win this race. Aidan O'Brien has won this race with a filly in the past. Found in 2015. We've seen Tanawa recently. We've seen Enable, a horse that started its career at Newcastle. I'm always keen to point that out. So the fillies can do it. I like that price at 8 to 5. But the fancy one that I threw out is a horse called Amilock. Amilock, firstly, is a bit of a homer play for me. The owner is from North Yorkshire, which is round about 40 minutes south of where I am. 80-year-old Vimy Ackroyd. Vimy Ackroyd just come into the Breeders' Cup and has never been to America before. So she's going to have the trip of her life, Vimy Ackroyd, 80-year-old Vimy at the weekend. 5 straight wins in the summer, including at Royal Ascot. Eventually went down in the Irish St. Leger last time out. But that was a proper run. There was nothing wrong with that run at all. Really well-balanced horse, versatile. 10 to 1 each way is perfectly fair. The trainer, Ralph Beckett, did have a winner on this card last year. Star Lust won the turf sprint last year for Ralph Beckett. So he knows how to get one ready. So I don't mind that each way. If you want to play it in an exacta with Mini Hawk, that might be an angle too. Amilock's number 3 and Mini Hawk is, I don't know what number you might have that. But yeah, little exact
number
on those,
8.
but I don't mind either.
There we go. Well, that takes care of the Breeders' Cup, the turf, the marathon distance of 12 furlongs, where I'm sure we're just going to get dunked on by probably one of the horses that my boy Malcolm here mentioned. Now, you have another couple horses for us. It comes out of race 10, 8 furlongs, $2 million. It's the Breeders' Cup mile, which is on the turf. Don't get it confused with the dirt mile. You've got one really big price right off the bat, and you're actually dipping to the Southern Hemisphere for this one. Who do you like?
Where are we looking? Oh, One Stripe, do you mean? Yeah.
Yep.
So I didn't come into this, looking at this race, with an intention of sort of picking this horse at all. This was purely on the eye test. I was looking around at some form. I was looking at Notable Speech, who's the favourite. The Godolphin horse is round about 9 to 4 favourite, but I think we can get that beat. Did win recently at Woodbine, kind of caught the eye, but as I messaged you last night, quite disparagingly, it keeps beating all the rubbish American horses. And it previously in the summer, it was finding the top Euro horses too good. But when I was looking at the tape of that last race, the Woodbine win, that horse in behind just caught my eye. And I watched it back 2 or 3 times, and I couldn't stop looking at it. It was 50 to 1. It's now trading at 30 to 1, I think. You sent me the line. So shop around. You might get some 50 to 1. It was 5th of 9 behind Notable Speech last time. Went off 50 to 1. But it just caught the eye. It wasn't knocked around. It wasn't given a hard race. It looked like it was prepared to get going down the stretch. It wasn't beaten far. I just thought the price was an anomaly, and it was purely an eye-catcher chase. That's all it was. Sometimes you can run the numbers. You can analyze it to death. Other times you just think, oh, shit, I like the look of what that's just done. And that's all that was, One Stripe. I didn't intend to pick it. I wasn't looking for something like that. But it caught my eye, Chase, so sometimes they're worth running with.
Hey, if ever there's a weekend to tie yourself to a rocket, I think that this is the one. So I like the pick of One Stripe, especially since I like to just fully degen out on South African racing at like 6 in the morning. Also, you mentioned Yarmouth. That's one of my favorites because I can say things like "keep my name out Yarmouth" after I hit like a trifecta there. All right, so you had one more you were thinking of. It's a little bit more of a friendly price. Tell me a little bit about this one.
Just quickly, you mentioned South African racing. What I love most about watching the South African racing, it's just a big ball of dust. You never see a horse until they get in the first. When they're going down the back straight, it's just a giant ball of dust. Like you expected Wile E. Coyote to come out of there fighting. Like you never see it. Something pops out in the last 100 yards and goes and wins.
I've never seen green turf whenever I watch South African races. I call it's the derf over there, the dirt turf.
Yeah. It's just rock hard. You can hear the hooves rattling on the TV. It's brilliant, man. So I do think we can get the favourite beat. That was my starting point. Again, you've got the big hitters here. The O'Brien horse is the Lion in Winter. But that horse, the kind of it's quite hard to win with the Lion in Winter. There's nothing wrong with its form particularly. It just doesn't win enough, which is a problem when you're trying to find a winner. And on a pure form line, he was beaten by our selection back on September the 7th. And the selection for me is going to be Sarlan, which is the French horse, number 3, trained by Francis Graffard, ridden by Mikel Barcelona. Has won twice the last twice in France. Shows a really good attitude. The only issue is the going. It tends to have done its winning when there's been a little bit of give in the ground. So good to soft. The word soft appears in the going for a lot of its wins. So you're kind of throwing horseshoes at the moon, whether or not, again, you tell me how quick is this going to be riding it, Delmar? This race does have clear trends. These European 3-year-olds just jump out off the page. Clear trends. This fits the category. The one thing you're taking on trust is whether it'll go on the quick going chase, which, like I say, you can tell me how quick it's going to be.
It's usually fairly dry out at Del Mar, but one thing I've noticed is it's hard to, and based on the summer meet, it's hard to tell how that will translate to the fall meet because it's just different weather and everything. I would still expect it, with it being a California track, to be a little bit more speed favoring, where you might have a little bit of trouble if you want a horse that's going to be flying from, launching from way back in the pack. I personally, unless I see something on Thursday to change my mind, am probably going to be looking front end to mid pack for my winners.
Yeah. But nothing wrong. I mean, Sarlan will be thereabouts. It's not a deep closer at all. Has a really nice turn of foot when the jockey says go. It can certainly fly. So, yeah, that doesn't put me off at all. In fact, it might even just make the price a little bit, because on form, I think it should be a little bit shorter, certainly than the Lion in Winter, who's trading at a point shorter. And I think it should be closer in price to Notable Speech.
Yeah, and if you're betting these fixed markets, I mean, go ahead and jump on some of these prices before it changes, and you can get a little bit of value from. I always like seeing the English or European, whatever, those lines, because that's usually where it's going to end up. It seems it's like it always kind of ends up right around that. So if you can jump on it early, it's just like a football or basketball bet. Get it at a good price. So yeah, that takes me through all of your European shippers to watch. This is one of 3 times during the year that I get to hang out with Malcolm. So it's fantastic to have you, man. I'm really glad we got a chance to do this.
No, I absolutely adore it. I was waiting for your message last week. I thought, oh no, is Chase not going to message? Is he found better? And then the message hit me, and I did a little air punch. I was like, yes, come on, let's do it. But no, yeah. I really look forward to it. It's nothing but fun. And do you know what? I think sometimes we pick some winners, don't we?
Oh yeah, it's we've had a pretty good little stretch of picking winners. You were all over the Triple Crown races. I want to say you had the winner in all of them.
That's true, actually. I don't know how much was more luck than judgment, but I'd rather be lucky than good. So that's fine. But yeah, that seems like a long time ago, but we did all right.
Yep. Well, that's going to do it for us here at the Notorious OTB, brought to you by the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. We will be back later tomorrow with our special guest host for the rest of the week, Sarah El Badwi. You might know her from Talking Horses on the Naira YouTube channel. You might also know her from America's Day at the Races on TV on Fox Sports. So She is exclusively sharing her picks with us. They're not going to be anywhere else, so you need to tune in and catch all of those. Malcolm, thank you so much. That's going to do it for us here at the Notorious OTB, brought to you by the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. And let me find a good clip to ride out on.
And I'll have enough money to hit the club and get some fresh clothes on this